gentleman saint. According to Saint Francis de Sales, all are called to be saints, and the saints are born according to the signs and demands of the time. Saint Joseph was, Saint Mother Teresa, Blessed Carlos, and many others are the perfect example of saints of our times. And today we celebrate the feast of Saint Francis de Sales, known as a gentleman saint, and he is the perfect patron of the congregation of the Missionaries of St. Francis de Sales. He is called a gentleman saint for many practical reasons which he lived during his time, and he is also found apt and relevant for the present generation. Saint Vincent de Paul, the one who lived at the time of Bishop Francis de Sales, calls him gentleman saint. He says, if Bishop Francis is so good, how much more good God must be? Saint Francis de Sales teaches us two ways of gentleness. Gentleness towards oneself and gentleness towards the other. Gentleness towards oneself. Mark chapter 12 verse 31 says, love your neighbor as yourself. In other words, to be gentle to others as we are to ourselves. And to this, Saint Francis de Sales says, all have imperfections. If we keep mourning over them, we cannot be happy. And if we resist harshly, we only add manure to them. This calls out to us to accept that we all have imperfections within us. No one is born perfect. Rather, everyone is called to become perfect. So one needs to understand one's own weakness and accordingly deal with self with gentleness. No one can understand you except you. Saint Francis de Sales understood that he had bad temper, and he says that it took 20 years to master it. When he encountered angry Calvinist, he said to him, even if you gouge my left eye, still I will look at you with love from my right eye. Mastering his imperfections with gentleness made him to grow more and more human. Presently, if we ponder upon the ample of cases of depression, suicide and disputes among us, they actually come from misunderstanding of one's own imperfections. Being gentle in treating oneself with respect and love is the only solution to all the problems. Gentleness towards the other. After knowing yourself properly and treating it gently, next follows up being gentle towards others. Saint Francis de Sales says, the heavy rain falls severely on the crop and destroys it, but the gentle showers fall slowly and steadily and helps for the growth of the crop. Practically speaking, the heavy rain can be one's ego, anger, hatred, which ruins the growth of any relationship. This is one of the primary reasons for the cause of chaos in our relationship, be it in religious life or married life or among friends. Saint Francis de Sales also gives solution to it. He says, the fishes soon after emptying their nets start mending them. In the same manner, as soon as we perceive cracks and breaks in our relationships, we must patch them up by a prompt act of gentleness. One can't mend the broken relationships with ego, hatred, and other vices. Taking one step of gentleness to understand and love another is much better than holding to one's ego and be the cause of broken relationships. Dear people, it sounds very easy and appealing, but we need lots of courage to be gentle like a gentleman saint in all our relationships.
Wish you happy feast. Live Jesus.